Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Sam Spade from the Midnight Devils. You're watching the Crash Course Metal Show, and if I learned one thing at all, is that baby, you never beg for it. Now go out and slap that crank down.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Crash Course Metal Show. I'm your host, Trevor Crash Knight. Today, we are going to be bringing you part 2 of this multiple part series of some of the overlooked and just underrated albums of this particular year, 1992. So in this whole series, what we're going to do is pick some of my favorites, some overlooked, some underrated albums that came out in each of these years throughout the 80s and into the early 90s of rock and metal. And there's plenty to be had there that not a lot of people talk about or just don't know about, just gets overlooked, underrated, the whole 9 yards. We have plenty of parts to do here for this, but I just recently did a part 1 to 1992, and I thought, you know what? I have 3 more that I really want to talk about right now, so I got to do a part 2 right away. So we are here for 1992, 3 more selections, basically. And like I said in the first part, these are in like no real particular order. All of these are really good. I might say, hey, this one might be my favorite of this year or such, but nothing's in real particular order. These are all great and need to be re-listened to and rediscovered as well. But before we jump into our first choice here, if you guys like what we're doing here with the music interviews, with the music album reviews, with the new single reactions, music video reactions and such, and all the different series like this that we're bringing to you, click the like button, click the subscribe, comment, hang out with us, party with us, stick around. I think you're going to like what we are going to be bringing to the show, all the different types of stuff. I think there's some really solid stuff coming ahead, guys, some different stuff. And also, if you guys want me to talk about anything in particular or just kind of like a general thing of the 80s, 90s, metal in general, rock, blues, let me know. Hit me up in the comments. And check out our Facebook page as well. You can get a hold of me there as well at the Crash Course Metal Show on Facebook. So, with all that out of the way, let us go to our first choice. And we are going to start with a bang, guys. And that is going to be Heavy Bones with their self-titled Heavy Bones. Oh my God, guys, this is crazy because with this album, it took me years to find it. Took me years to find a reissue of it. But a couple years ago, I was able to find it at a record store that I go to once in a while. And you said, you know what? I just have to get this, no matter if it's $20, $30, whatever, I have to get it. So what you have here is a little bit of a super group. So you have here Joe Ellis, vocalist, formerly of Cats and Boots. If anyone's unaware of Cats and Boots, as you can see behind me here, their album, solid album, but I like Heavy Bones a little bit more. But we'll get into that once we get into this album here. But you got Joe Ellis on vocals, and then you got guitar, and that's Gary Hoey. And then you have Frankie Benelli, obviously from Quiet Riot and stuff, on drums. And then you have Rex Tennyson on bass from Exhalion. But, guys, this album here is like a really good indication or what 1992 sounds like for rock and metal of the hair sleaze style. It's really good stuff. Like, they had 2 singles off of here. 4 a.m. TM, it was the first, and then they had the ballad, if you will, Turn It On. Solid stuff. Awesome stuff. Like, now, granted, I love Turn It On. That's, like I said, one of the ballads off of here. Solid. Really good stuff. And then you also have a second ballad here, and that is Beating Heart, which is real solid, too. These 2 ballads are right up there for 1992. Really good stuff. But like I said, the first single, 4 a.m., solid riff, just great vocals all the way around. But like with this album, it's a little bit like what you get with other of the newer bands that were coming out in the sleaze side of things, hair metal side of things at that time. Because you got 12 tracks, maybe 1 or 2 tracks too long, if we're being completely honest. But nonetheless, solid all the way through. And then you get different things. You hear different things throughout the album. It's not real polished or anything like that, which I did say in the first episode. 1992, you're kind of getting away from that real polished stuff, that real polished sound. And, you're getting more of an edge, getting more sleaziness, more of an attitude, if you will, a grittier attitude. But yeah, you have here The Hand That Feeds, the opening track, solid stuff. You know what you're getting into right from the start here with the first 2 tracks, The Hand That Feeds and then 4 a.m. Then you got Turn It On, solid first 3 tracks. Then you move on to Anna, solid, another solid one. You get different feel, you get different things thrown at you here in this album, but it's all heavy. It's all there are melodic. It is melodic though too. It just great performance musicianship all the way through. I love this album.
I love you, man. Thank you.
This is man, I'm so glad I was able to have it, whether an original or a reissue, whatever it is. I'm glad I have it in the collection. Then you move on to Dead End Street, Where Eagles Fly, solid stuff. And then the 7th track is Just Okay, and Immortum. Not too memorable. The Light of Day, Your Love Won't Let Me Down. I love the groove to that song. Solid chorus and such. Then, like I said, you got the second ballad here, Beating Heart. Really solid stuff. But I would say Turn It On is better. I like the lyrics, the message in Turn It On. But Beating Heart's real solid. Really good stuff. Summers in the Rain. Good. Where the Living is Easy to find, or to close out this album. Guys, solid album. And then real quick, with The Cats and Boots, Kicked and Clawed, like I said, solid album. Good album. But I think here with Joel, with his vocals, I think you hear some growth. If I may say that with the vocals here compared to Kicked and Clawed, because like Cats and Boots, there wasn't really no ballad on there. There wasn't really no range that I can really remember or really pick out with his voice here, like in Heavy Bones. Like he brought something else to this album, and I love it so much. And each of the different kinds of song structures and stuff here that they did, I think his voice complemented what each one of these songs bring to the table. I like it so much. It's like I said, guys, we are starting off with a bang with this album. This album did not do well at all, obviously, being 1992. It's sad because even if it would have came out in 1990, because we can argue 1990 is a little too late as well for some bands and some releases. But with Frankie Banali, though, with Quiet Riot, obviously this is certainly after the self-titled Quiet Riot of 1988 with Paul Sorrentino on vocals. That's a really good album as well. I love that album. That's probably my favorite Quiet Riot album. I know that's crazy to say, but I love that album so much. Love Paul Sorrentino's work on that. But yeah, Frankie, you would think this would just sell a little bit better just based on having Frankie's name there. But like I said, wrong time, no real airplay. Turn It On got a very, very little airplay, but only one music video, and that was for the first single, 4 a.m. So dead in the water basically as soon as it came out, and no real chance. And that is sad as hell because, guys, this is worth checking out. Awesome. Whether anyone's on the fence or not about like hair metal, sleaze metal, and stuff like that, I let I want you to check this out. I beg you to check this out. Please. Awesome stuff. Let me know what you think. Guys, if you don't know in the comments, let me know in the comments. If you don't know about this album, go check it out. Let me know what you think. This is, out of the 3 here, this would be my favorite probably, but the next one, I mean, all these are my favorite, obviously, or they wouldn't be on this video, but whenever this album comes on, I'm like, damn it, this is such a missed opportunity, it seems like. And I'm going to be saying that a lot for the 1990s series here, for the 1990s chapters in this video series. But man, I love it. And even like the album works cool too. Like I can dig it. I like it. Solid like 1992 feel. Everything. Solid stuff, guys. Check that shit out. All right, guys, we got our second choice here, and that is going to be obviously 1992's Bangalore Choir, On Target. Here, just real quick with the lineup, you got David Reese, Ian Mayo, and Dan Greenberg on bass, Jackie Ramos and Derek Thomas on guitars, Kurt Mitchell and John Kirk. And then, guys, like this album, solid stuff. Like now, like I said, with 1992, you're getting away from that real overly produced, polished stuff. Now, this sounds great production-wise, but it still has that raw, a little bit of a raw sound, an edge to it. Now, but it's real melodic though. Really good stuff. Like even like Angel in Black, screeching guitars come straight out right from the start. Like you know that you're not dealing with some real overly polished type band, bubblegummy type band. When I say melodic, none of that. And then you got the second track, the single, Loaded Gun. I adore that song. That song is amazing. And guys, I was able to talk to David Reese, the singer, obviously. And if anyone doesn't know David Reese, first off, he replaced Udo from Accept for one album in the late 80s, 1989, for Feel the Heat. Or sorry, Eat the Heat. And that album is awesome in its own right as well. Me and David talked about that when I interviewed him here. I will put the link in the description for that as well. Solid stuff. And we talk about Bangalore Choir as well. He tells some cool stories about this, but some kind of some sad stories with timing and everything. But yeah, and even like Bon Jovi helped with some backing vocals and such on this album on a couple songs. So that is interesting in its own right. Because as most people know, I am not a Bon Jovi fan, you know, for reasons, and not reasons that we'll get into here now. But and so like it's interesting nonetheless. But guys, this album here, solid stuff. And you get like the slower tracks here, The Good Die Young, good melodic, not necessarily a ballad, but it is on the slower side and melodic, just great chorus, something to sing along to. Doing the Dance, that's a cool little song. I love the solo on that. Like the solo just really like jumps out at you when he does his scream. Like it kind of blends real perfectly together. I love that shit. Good stuff. Oh, and then also real quick with Loaded Gun, when they did this music video for this, go check that out. I'll probably put it in the video here, so you're probably watching it now. But there is a young Jared Leto, if anyone is familiar with Jared Leto, the actor. He was the Joker and like some other, in some other movies as well. I'm not a big movie guy, so like I don't know all exactly what he was in, but I do know he was like one of the newer Jokers. So check that's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome too. So basically going off with the rest of this album here, man, it's just amazing. She Can't Stop, Freight Train Rolling, Just One Night. That's another good song too. I do like that a lot. So it's 10 solid tracks, guys, and it's amazing. Great melodic stuff. The slower stuff's great. The harder and faster stuff's really, really good too. Something to sing along to, and just. But there's no lack of punch either. There's plenty of punch here on this album. All because it's melodic and stuff. There's plenty of punch. You'll know that right from the opening track of Angel in Black. You'll know right away that this isn't just some bubblegum, no punch, holding punches back and shit. No, we ain't doing that here. But yeah, guys, David Reese, awesome. Shout out to David Reese. Check out the new Bangalore Choir album as well. He just released one within this past year, this year sometime. I forget what month it came out, but just recently came out. Good stuff. David Reese knows how to write a song. And then also the Iron Allies. Check that out as well. His other project. Man, solid stuff. But that's more on the harder side. The Iron Allies, that's more on what he did with Accept and stuff like harder as well. More metal. But nonetheless, David Reese does awesome stuff. Big fan. So, guys, that's Bangalore Choir on target. Alrighty, guys, for our final choice for this video, we're going to be shifting gears just slightly here. Obviously, still on the metal side. But we were going to go to Megadeth. Countdown to Extinction. So here, Countdown to Extinction is Megadeth's 5th album, and it obviously coming off of their consensus, I would say. Most fans would say Rust in Peace is their best album, and I would probably agree with that. Solid. It sold pretty well, but obviously, coming off of such a high album, people usually are let down after such a great album like Rust in Peace was. And now, granted, I was born in 92, so I don't know the actual true reception of this, but I can only go off of numbers here. So the US Billboard Top 200, it did reach number 2. So that's very good. And it did go 2 times platinum as of now. So I would say, just from numbers looking, it did well. It had great singles off of this. The singles were obviously Sympathy for Destruction, Foreclosure of a Dream, Sweating Bullets, and then Skin on My Teeth. So solid singles. That's a straight solid 4 singles. Now, granted, we can argue Symphony of Destruction, overplayed, probably, yeah, but still solid nonetheless. Great song. But so you have the classic, lineup here of Marty Friedman, Dave Mustaine, Dave Ellefson, and Nick Menza as well. So just based on that, the lineup alone, you know that you're going to be getting another great output. But I will say that this is probably up until that point their most produced album, or maybe overly produced. I think the production's fine for the most part. Now, granted, when you're listening to an original of the CD and such, the volume is lower, but that's with a lot of the old stuff. So that, you can't really say that production wise anything like that. But production, I don't have an issue with it. I mean, certainly more, like I said, more polished, I guess. Polished maybe might not be the right word, but just sounds cleaner than a lot of the other albums up until that point. Not nearly as raw sounding. So you start off here with Skin on My Teeth. Solid, great song. Right to the point. Awesome. Still one of my favorites. Sympathy of Destruction, next track. Obviously, everyone knows that song. Good song. And then you start moving here to deeper tracks. Architecture of Aggression, solid, really good riff. And that's another point too I want to make here. David Ellison, bass playing on this, really good. I mean, obviously it's good on a lot of the Megadeth shit he does. So I mean, that's not really saying too much. And same with Marty Friedman and Dave Mustaine, what they're playing and stuff, and Nick Menza's going crazy and back on the drums. But just great. It is an all-star lineup here for Megadeth. Probably another consensus of Megadeth fans is they do say that this is the best lineup that there ever was for Megadeth. And so you go on here to the 4-track Foreclosure of a Dream. Solid. I mean, and it's a little bit of a different song and single for Megadeth. Not necessarily because like they do talk about politics and like current events and stuff like that, but it's just a little bit of a different delivery and a little bit different just of foreclosure of Americans' dreams, with obviously the foreclosures of houses and stuff like that. Solid, really good stuff. And moving on here to Sweating Bullets, another one that goes hand in hand with Symphony of Destruction, one of Megadeth's most popular songs. Good though. I mean, it's classic because like when people think of Megadeth, sometimes they do think of Sweating Bullets. Hello, me. I'm here talking to myself. Like how Dave's talking to himself as singing the lyrics and such. Like it's pretty cool. When it came out, it was probably something really different. It's solid. It's just really cool. This Was My Life is the next track. Okay, nothing great, but still very listenable. And then the title track here at number 7. I like this song. I always did like this song. Like the bass in it. It kind of has an eerie vibe to it a little bit. Just a little, it has that feel to it. Like just I like the chorus, like the parts where like right before the solo and stuff, you're kind of like, oh wow, yeah, Extinction, But I like it. I like it a lot. And then you got High Speed Dirt at 8. All right, just an up-paced song, good stuff. Psychotron, probably one of the weaker ones on this track. I still have it on the iPod, but like it's not one that I really need to go visit. And then you got track number 10 here, Captive Honor. I always enjoyed this song. I think it's funny as hell, like how they got the guy saying, "Your soul better belong to Jesus, because your ass belongs to me." Like it's funny as hell. Just an interesting song like that. It's one that has hooks in it that kind of stick in your brain. And then you got track number 11, Ashes in Your Mouth. Solid way to end the album. Nothing amazing though at the same time. But I like this album. Countdown to Extinction, guys. It's one. Now, would I say it's overlooked? Or it might be actually, because up until recently, I started seeing a lot of love for this up until about a couple years ago. And then before a couple years ago, I never really heard many people talk about this album. It's always Peace Sells, obviously, and, Rust in Peace and stuff like that. This is kind of like, but goes hand in hand with like Euthanasia a little bit, I think. Obviously, Euthanasia goes into a little bit more of like a 94 feel, obviously coming out in 94, but it comes into more of that, what metal was a little bit more about in that time. But like I like this. I don't know if it's just because it came after Rust in Peace that people kind of overlook this. This might go just more in a little bit of the overlooked, more so than anything here. But obviously people know about it because it went double times platinum and it's Megadeth and, in the classic era of Megadeth, classic lineup era. But I don't know. I like it, guys. I like it a lot. And obviously Vic here on the back, one of my favorite back covers of Megadeth. Solid stuff. And then the guy that did the artwork for Countdown to Extinction here, he did the 1990 album, or 1991 album, I think it is, of Fate's Warning. Damn it, I forget what the name of that album is, but it is solid. I like it. There's a couple tracks on there that are really, really good. I believe he did the cover art for that as well, and that's kind of like a creepier cover art too. So, guys, check out Countdown to Extinction. If like all you know from Megadeth is like some of the newer stuff, or Peace Sells, Killing Is My Business, Rust in Peace, stuff from the 80s. Check this out. I mean, now granted, like I said, I could see people not liking the production of it. I could see that, but to me, I think it's fine. I don't think it hurts. It's not great, but it doesn't hurt either. It's there, and I'm all right with it. It's cool. Nothing crazy with the mix either. I'm happy with it. But yeah, check that out, guys. It went double times platinum for not nothing. Obviously, would you argue that it was kind of riding some coattails of Rust in Peace? maybe not. I don't know. I think it's solid though. But I think the singles itself, like I said, the singles themselves hold up still well to this day. Even they get played even more than some of the older stuff that more of the diehard Megadeth fans love. And because like I said, every time you kind of hear Megadeth out and about on like radio and stuff, you usually get Sympathy for Destruction or Sweating Bullets. So that alone kind of, gives praise to this album. The reason why I went up 2 times platinum. All right, so guys, that wraps up this video. Let me know in the comments which of the 3 that you guys know about, or what is your favorite.
Yo, Stacy! Talk to me, baby!
And let me know one of your albums that you think is overlooked, underrated, or possibly even overrated. Let me know that, because that might be another thing that we could talk about too, from 1992. So, and then one of the other choices here, guys, was Bangalore Choir, On Target. Solid melodic stuff. Very good, and here we go. Heavy Bones. Guys, check it out. Check out Heavy Bones, especially if you like that sleaziness of 1992. Solid musicianship, great singing, great songwriting too, and just like song structures too. Really good stuff. A little different from your usual sleaze and hair metal of the time as well. Like I said, 1992, 1991 was great for that stuff. That those subgenres of hair metal. They were doing new things. They were sounding different, not sounding so polished. It was awesome, and it just got cut way too short, especially that small era from 90 to 93. But nonetheless, guys, check out 1992. Some way, somehow, check out Heavy Bones self-titled. Guys, like I said, thank you guys for watching. Click subscribe if you like what we're doing here. Want to keep up with all the different years here of great albums that are just overlooked and underappreciated. And, we got plenty more parts in this series to go. So stick with us. And until next time, guys, stay out of that collateral damage, and we will see you later.
Yeah, I wrote that. It's called I Want to Rock Your Body. And then in parentheses it says to the break of dawn.